Miami Dolphins now on the clock, 16th overall pick in the first round. Where will they go? Welcome back to the NFL Live set. Trey Wingo, Mark Schlereth, Merrill Hodge, Ron Jaworski. You know, this draft really changed, guys, before the draft with Drew Brees going to New Orleans and Dante Culpepper going to Miami. Culpepper may not be there, Merrill, for the start of the season. What can he bring to the Dolphins?
Well, explosiveness. And that's when you look at offenses in the National Football League. If you can attack vertically, you become a special offense. And that's what Dante Culpepper will bring to the Miami Dolphins. Look at the press coverage, a blitz look. The goal for this one, if you can throw the ball down the field, you have to make the one-on-ones pay. Dante Culpepper identifies the pre-snap read. First of all, he holds the safety in the middle, and I'm telling you, folks, this is a rare throw if you can throw it to the wide side of the field. From the end zone, though, you'll see Culpepper's responsibility. He must hold that safety on the hash at the narrow side of the field. Does a great job by looking at the wide receiver on that side. He knows where he wants to go. He wants to go on the backside. But here's the amazing throw. Very few quarterbacks in the NFL can make this throw. We have had 3 quarterbacks go already in the draft. There's only one quarterback that's been drafted thus far that can make a throw like that, and that would be Jay Cutler. That's why the other 2, to me, have a lot of weaknesses coming to the National Football League, but the Miami Dolphins do not have that weakness as far as
Merle, what you just showed us was a healthy Dante Culpepper. You have to remember he's coming off three torn ligaments in his knee. That is not easy to come back from. If he is healthy, he has some outstanding receivers to throw to. When you look at Marty Booker and Chris Chambers on the outside, Randall McDaniel back on the McMichael back on the inside, you have weapons. Now the question mark for the Dolphins will be that offensive line. But if Culpepper is healthy, they now have, as Merrill showed, a guy that can attack the entire football field. Long, short, intermediate, sideline to sideline, Trey.
Yeah, but he's not healthy, and they're making preparations for him not to be there maybe halfway through the season. Right now, the only other Dolphins quarterback on the roster is Cleo Lemon. The Joey Harrington deal is still out there, but it officially has not been done yet. We'll see if that gets done, and Joey would leave Detroit and head down to Miami. Dolphins are on the clock. We send it back to Boomer in New York.
All right, Trey, thank you very much. I believe Joey Harrington will be in the Dolphins, whether it's a trade for like a 6th or at the June 1st so he's cut. But you guys already detailed Culpepper, and that, of course, is the big story in Miami coming up. Another story, of course, Ricky Williams gone for the whole year, suspended. So Ronnie Brown, who they drafted #1 last year with the 2nd overall pick, how will he be lugging the ball all the time? Miami and Nick Saban, you know, many years, is he going to be a coach? Is he going to be... What did they do? They won their last 6 games. They ended up 9-7. His coordinators are Tom Capers on defense, impressive. Mike Mularkey, the Bills' ex-head coach, as offensive. Miami, in a hurry, in 1 year, is a team on the come in. Dante Culpepper, 3 knee ligaments. I don't know that you can just say, even though he's making the throws, you don't know week 1, although the Dolphins are very upbeat about it, Gordon.
No, they are upbeat about it. And you know, it's funny. It's the anterior cruciate ligament that always keeps these guys out for so long. It's that posterior cruciate ligament that really bothers quarterbacks because of their dropbacks and what have you. But I know this much. Clearly, the Miami did not want to have to give up a 2nd-round draft pick for a quarterback because they don't have a lot. Nick Saban values those picks. They were very interested in Drew Brees, obviously concerned about Brees' shoulder, enough so that they would rather use a 2nd-round pick to get a quarterback coming off major knee surgery. They do think he'll be close around September. If not, Joey Harrington will be there, I believe.
It's not just the ligament in his knee, but it's the ligament in his head also. You got to think about Dante Culpepper coming into the league, and he had Chris Carter in his ear all the time when it was time to play. And then Chris Carter moved on, and Randy Moss was there. Last year was his first year without either of those guys, and he had to self-motivate himself to get ready. And he wasn't able to do that. He had a tough season. I talked to Jason Garrett, the quarterback coach for the Miami Dolphins. He knows he has to get Dante Culpepper to be the leader that he can be.
You're not going to have any problem with motivation when Nick Saban's your head coach.
That's right.
Trust me.
That's right. That would be the case. You better watch out for your posterior if Nick Saban is the head coach. The pick is in for Miami, year 2. Nick Saban.
With the 16th choice in the 2006 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Jason Allen, defensive back from the University of Tennessee.
Well, we just saw Jason Allen from Tennessee waiting, and there's the celebration right now. Hey, look, One thing we know about Nick Saban and the way they play defense, size. Size matters big time, and defensive backs, you better be a big player. 6'1", 208 Mel, certainly a big DB.
And ironically tried to be recruited to LSU by Nick Saban. So Nick knew Jason Allen, had a lot of information, a lot of detailed study on Jason Allen coming out of the high school ranks, and wanted him obviously in LSU. He went to Tennessee, had a heck of a career, played cornerback as well as free safety. Tough kid, 6'1", 208-pounder. Has that linebacker mentality, played cornerback, as I said, very effectively, as well as free safety with that 4.41 speed and just under a 40-inch vertical jump. Now, he had that hip injury in October in the game against Georgia. There was a concern how far he'd drop, but here at the Combine, showing again that he did not lose any speed, was going to be ready to go and at 100%. I talked to Jason Allen a couple weeks ago, and this kid is highly motivated. He knew he was a top 10 pick going into the season, thought he had dropped into the second round, and certainly was ecstatic to learn that he was in the middle of the first round, either to Miami. He wanted to go there because of the Nick Saban connection. Minnesota, Dallas, I've been talking about with Bill Parcells, needing a free safety desperately, but for a Miami football team that had Travis Daniels, who Nick coached at LSU, he gives them dual versatility more.
Well, you mentioned Nick's familiarity with the Southeastern Conference, and that's true. You saw him dip there last year for 2 or 3 players.
Here it is.
Channing Crowder of Florida. And that's because Nick has recruited every one of these guys. You're right. He has more information on guys who played in that conference. Right. He recruited them, and he played against them.
And he knows all the coaches. He knows who to talk. Might as well use it a couple of years from now. He won't know the kids anymore in that conference. Right.
Hey, let me tell you about Jason Allen, though. As I watch Jason Allen, I love him, and I hear people say you can play him at corner. I studied him on film. In this league, he will be a safety, but you can let him play some coverage. You can't put him on a corner all the time against the receivers that play in the NFL. He would have a tough go at that, but he will be a great safety because you see he will bring up and put a big hit on him.
You know, one of the things that we're seeing is I think the recent history of the NFL is the hard-hitting safeties, the guy who come up and hit like the linebackers. But I think that you are now seeing these coaches go back to that safety who can run, who can play that last line of defense for you, who will not allow you to get beat over the top. And I think that Jason Allen fits that bill.
As well as having the ability to cover the slot guy.
That's correct. That's correct. Cover, but also can get deeper than the deepest.
We told you that the draft changed here. Here are the teams with the winning records from last year. One of those would be Miami, who reeled off 6 wins to close out at 9-7. Coach Saban with Susie Culver. Suze?
Well, every team's dream here is to get to Super Bowl 41. Dolphin Stadium plays host. Nick Saban working to get his team there. Nick, with your first pick, Jason Allen, tell us just how far that relationship with Allen goes back.
Well, Jason came to our camp on several occasions when I was in college at LSU, and we certainly developed a relationship. We know his family. We have a tremendous amount of respect for him as a person as well as a player, and he's certainly the kind of guy we love having in our organization.
There's obvious ties to the SEC, having coached at LSU, but last year you went with 3 picks in the first 4 rounds. What is it about those SEC players that you like so much?
Well, I guess the fact that we know them a little bit and have a lot of respect for the league and the quality of players in that league is something that is our respect has made it easy for us to pick those kind of players. Those 3 players did an outstanding job for us last year, and we're hopeful that Jason Allen will have the same kind of start here this year.
Nick, on the other side of the ball, what's a realistic timetable for Dante Culpepper coming back off of knee surgery?
Well, Dante has done fantastic and being here in Miami, working hard at his rehab, fitting in very nicely with the rest of our players, starting to become a leader with our team. So we're really, really excited about his potential. We're certainly not going to put him in a position that's not something that would benefit him physically, but we're very encouraged by his progress and very happy with where he is right now.
Nick, thanks for the time. We'll see you throughout the weekend.
Okay, Susie, thank you.
Chris, let's go back to you.
All right, Suze, Coach Saban, thank you very much.